through the ashes in the sky. Where's the one who'll guide us into the night? What's begun is the war that will force this divide. What's to come is fire and the
Ooh. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Wait, are those need to go in the oven? No, I don't think so. All righty. Good evening, good evening. How are we all doing? So much parts and pieces everywhere. It's crazy. Okay. So, tonight we are going to be working on Ajax. I went ahead and I demolded the pauldron, and it was a success. I'll show you how that turned out. And essentially, we're going to bring those pauldrons together on the character, and we need to figure out where the kind of separation line is for the bust, and then also figure out what kind of stand we want to do for this guy. That's on the agenda for tonight. A few small little details that we still have to do, but really not a whole bunch left. Some nice hot tea. Let's get to work. Spawn chiller's still awake, huh? They late over there in Deutschland. That's all right. If you got nothing to be up for, it doesn't really matter. I know, yeah. Once you have a kid, it becomes very difficult because they're getting up whether you like it or not. And then they're making you get up too. For some reason, kids have an issue with you sleeping while they're awake. Like it just offends them deeply. Just let me sleep. Okay, let's see here. Oh, I forgot. There's a cap on there. Okay, so that's the duplicate. A little bit of a seam line we have to clean up, but other than that, it's pretty clean. There's the original with this part here, which we can just remove because of the C1 separator. And this part we have to make. And I'm not sure if we're going to duplicate it or if we're just going to make it twice. Yeah, definitely some work we got to do on there. Is. Very nice. Let me get my reference before we dive in here. Let's see here. Python and a cat. Some self-managing creatures, pretty much. Fairly self-managing. Oh, it's staying on that. Oh, we're gonna put clay underneath it, like fresh material, and then we can kind of get them in their final position, and then we'll sculpt the area around it and make it look nice. That's probably the next step we're gonna do here. So we're gonna do it right there. I plan on sculpting something on Christmas or no? I don't celebrate Christmas, so yeah, I don't know. Hope that suit is air conditioned. It's pretty fancy. I imagine it would be. Let's see. What day is that? That's the 20. That's Wednesday. Yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure what will be happening there. All right, we need some clay here. First and foremost. I actually had decently warm weather today, so we're outside in the garden doing some more cleanup before the end of the cycle here. I pre-chopped a bunch of wood. Hello. Good evening, Maggie. I am looking forward to getting back to work on our normal projects, that's for sure. Good old Morgoth. Anxiously awaiting his finish, so he can take over this plane of existence. There you Morgoth. Hey, thanks, Frog. Should be enough material for now. I guess before we add the pauldrons on, we should try and figure out kind of where the cutoff of this bust is. Maybe we'll just kind of come down into a V, into a point here. I guess. Do you work with other materials when you do sculpting? What do you mean, like mixed media? Or just different kinds of clays? Like this. Wood or stone or marble? A little bit of wood. A little bit of wood stuff every once in a while, but I don't do like carving. But sometimes I'll add some mixed media elements. Using wood and stuff. Okay, let's go ahead and make our cut here. Bit of chunk out of Ajax. It is but a flesh wound. Hey, thanks, man. Glad you like my work. Yeah, I mean, carving is just a different discipline. It's a completely different kind of a set of rules and tools and techniques. Sure, there's some transferable stuff, but it is quite a different practice. This big chunk here. There we go. Now, let's cover the areas that are under the pauldron. We can start making that look nice. Then we can attach the pauldrons. You know what? Let me get all this stuff off the desk here. Oh, you want to see how this hand mold turned out for the Tyranid? Take a look at this. Super clean. Quite a success. It's a oven cure adhesive. Essentially a liquefied version of the clay. So it doesn't air dry. Just helps the clay kind of stick to things, and then when it gets baked, it cures just like the clay does. Much better. Maybe we should run the Dremel tool a little bit. Kind of clean these up. Yeah, maybe not. Me? Are you listening through speakers? Yeah, I don't think I didn't lower anything. Has it always been like that, or is it just like that right now? Hmm. Let me see. Just music or even my voice? That's true. I just turn the music up a little bit. Hopefully that helps. Okay. So it's good during the day because of the headphones, you think? You must learn to listen, to listen, to learn. some more clay here.
The strength of the cnotbusch kingdom lies not in our walls, but in our people. March to war.
Hey, Mr. Mank, thank you very much for the raid. Welcome in, Raiders. How was your stream, brother? Volume is up on that. Me sleepy. Get some rest. Get some sleep. Come on in, everybody. We're working on a bust of the character named Ajax from the first Descendant. Actually, pretty far along on this one. Just getting his pauldrons attached. Some miscellaneous things to do. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. I hope everything's been going good over there in Mankland. Hey, Planeswalker. Hey, what's up, Desert? Thank you very much, my friend. Okay. I'm wondering if we should try and do these parts here. How we should do them. Could glue like a little piece of wire and just sculpt right on there. One on each shoulder. Hmm. Be some thin armature. This might be too thick. Maybe a piece of memory wire should do the trick. A teeny tiny drill bit. Does somebody like you who spends so much time sculpting appreciate figurines made by 3D printing? Or is the process not important as long as the product is beautiful? Yeah, I mean, I can still see the craft. You know, there's still a sculptor behind everything that's 3D printed, of course. So I can definitely appreciate that. And yeah, I mean, it really is. I mean, there is value associated with something that's handmade over something that's digitally made. We see it in the market of things, you know. To have a sculpture 3D sculpted digitally and printed is going to be less expensive than having someone hand sculpt it. So I think everyone has a higher value. But I still look at a work of a 3D artist as very valuable. They just have a lot of tools that allow you to get the job done quicker. And I think that's where that value differential part of it is, the speed at which you can produce something, how many hours it requires. Is less, but doesn't make the results any less, you know, visually. Oh, thank you, Jinx. Thank you for the compliment. Okay. I still think there's a lot that 3D printers have a hard time doing. That there's definitely pros and cons for sure. I think my biggest issue with 3D printed stuff is the lack of depth of detail. And you see the same thing in things that are molded and casted usually too, but way more in 3D printing, where the lines, the detail work has a lot of like deepness or depth to it. Gives it that sharpness, Oh, what's with the drill? And the drill deactivates the camera somehow. How does it happen? This is a weird thing. It's the third time today with the drill deactivating the camera. I wonder if it gives off some sort of like I don't know, like a charge or something. I don't know. Weird. They're not even hooked up to the same power supply, so some sort of interference, yeah. That is weird. Okay, hold on. Okay, we gotta drill 3 holes here. All right. Now let's fix the camera. That's such a weird problem. Okay. Okay, I need the activator spray. And we need super glue. Is memory wire? I think that is. It's very bendy. It's not, definitely not. Okay. I grabbed the wrong one. Hold on. Wait, that one too. That's weird. Weird. What happened to my memory? I swear this stuff was all memory wire. Okay. This one seemed better. Okay, yeah, it definitely is. It's supposed to bend and then spring back. So. About the same length, I think. All right. Actually, before we do that, let's use some small wire here. Let's wrap this around those pieces so they glue easier. Hey, what's up, Kitsune? No, it's not. It's hooked up with a USB cable. That's what's weird. Hey, how you doing, Web? Good evening. Okay, let's glue those in place now. Hit it with some activator. As soon as it comes in contact with the glue, it instantly cures it. So, no more super glue on your fingers. You get this stuff. Also, it just allows you to kind of tack weld things into place. There you go. That feeling is, it's always the same. It's always nice to see it all finished in front of you. And the longer it takes you, the nicer that is, that feeling. Let me go grab a sweater. I'll be right back. And we'll get these pieces sculpted in here. Be right back. Right. Right. Now let's... Yeah. Well, technically, the photo that I used for reference was he's pointing with one arm like this, so the shoulder's higher and the shoulder's down. So gives it some interest. A little asymmetry there. I've ever sculpted Skeksis from Dark Crystals. I have not. I have not sculpted a Skeksis. Okay. Would be a fun project, though, that's for sure.
The strength of the cnotbusch kingdom lies not in our walls, but in our people. March to war.
The damage. The damage. Hey, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome. Welcome in, raiders. How was your stream, my friend? Corn dog crew. Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate it. welcome in. We're working on a character from the first Descendant. His name's Ajax. I was commissioned by Nexon Games to bring a bust of him to life. So, actually pretty far along on this. We just gotta sculpt these little bits here and kind of do the base and some cleanup and touch up things, but it's looking pretty close to done almost. Hey, thank you, man. Got to raid me this time, that's right. Lots of color flatting. Prepping for a big day of rendering tomorrow. Okay. Is that like, do you like, after you have your line work, do you kind of fill in the colors just like almost like a base color? You like pick out the color scheme first and then you go back in and like highly render the different sections. Is that how that goes? Okay. That's nice. I like a good order of operations. It seems like a very good way, efficient way of getting things done. Staying on task. Okay, so we're gonna run into problems here. Yeah, we'll do the paint. We'll do the paint work too on stream. Hey, Neon. Thank you. Working a few different art styles, and each one has their own process. Thankfully, the 5 commissions I'm currently working on are all the same style, so I can sort of do things in batches, yeah. Nice. Yeah, I imagine an easier way to do different styles is have different procedure, different order of operations. Would yield a different result. Let's do. Hey, Mr. Olaf. Doing good, man. How you doing? All is well in the kingdom. All right. It's a difficult thing to do, my friend. I don't know if any artist has a easy time with that. Essentially, the way things have gone for me is, when I started off doing this kind of work, I was selling my work very cheap, very inexpensive, because it was just I considered it like paid practice, I just wanted to have work coming in, so. But then over time, as my skills grow and the demand goes up, you just kind of slowly start upping the price. And also, the thing is really the only way to really know is to know how long it takes you to do things, and that's not easy to do either. And that you just kind of get better at figuring that out. But even then, even when you've been doing that a long time, like I have, I still miss. Because here's the thing, it's hard to be the artist and the businessman at the same time. The decisions the artist makes and the decisions the businessman makes are often contradictory. So you have to decide whether or not to listen to the artist side or the business side. And I always choose the artist side because, for example, the artist side of me is going to work on something until it looks good, even if that means putting in more time than I budgeted for the project when I quoted the client, so because, and also the artist in me, I mean, okay, this is probably a joint decision between the artist and the businessman. They agree on this. Another thing I like to do is I really like to try and push one step further than I went before. Hold that thought. I gotta go check the door. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Nothing there. False alarm. But yeah, so, and I mean, I've witnessed this myself, but when you're focused on just improving your artwork, like the growing the skill, you will do things, you'll redo parts, you'll push further and harder, which usually means it takes longer. And but the idea is, by pushing to the new level, you're now able to, this is your new level, and you're able to charge more for this, and so, because that's what people, when they come to you to get work done, they're basing it off of the work you've already done. So this is exactly why, for example, like when clients have a smaller budget to work with, I don't ever deliver less detail or less quality. Instead, I deliver a smaller composition. For example, what we're working on now is a bust. So same level of detail and level of finishedness as if I was doing a full character, but a smaller composition. So, because some people, and I could do this too, where I can sculpt very quickly and just make like a sketchy looking thing, but that would create the idea that that's because people don't see the business discussion behind a project. They just see the artwork that you're finishing. So it has to speak for you, no matter if it's a higher budget piece or a lower budget piece. So, so if you make a bunch of like really quick, sketchy sculptures, people might think that that's the quality that you're offering. You know what I mean? Because they don't see, oh, well, I actually had a really small budget, so I had to quickly whip them out. They don't see that stuff. So, but anyways, by investing the time to improve, to push things further than you've gone before, you should be slowly increasing where your level of skill is, which will slowly increase how much you're making from your work, so. And the higher up that ladder you climb, the more you should find, the more in demand your work will become, and it kind of creates a snowball effect. So, but it all stems from, let's just focus on making the artwork good. Once the business talk is done, don't even think about it, and just try to deliver the best piece you can deliver. And then, you're going to take some hits, of course. If you sit there like a business person, you try to break down an hourly wage, you're probably going to be like, ooh, this is not so good, But I just don't even do that. Oh, hold on. Dog's barking. Let me go check again. All right, sorry about that. I don't know what's going on out there. My customers bargain a lot? No, it doesn't really happen. It's custom made work, commissioned work. Someone comes to me with an idea, I give them a price. It's not really there's no positive for me to give to give a deal, because say for example someone was like, well, I want to order many pieces, will you give me a deal? It's like, no, because I have to make those pieces. This doesn't take any work away from me because I have to make a bunch of them. I still have to make them. The work is still there, so. And or if it was difficult to get clients, then I could see, okay, maybe I want to make a bargain to lock in like 5 projects from this one client because I have a hard time getting clients, but I don't have that problem, so. Yeah. So usually it's, when someone comes to me, they have an idea. I tell them, okay, this is what we could do with this idea. This is what it'll cost. These are the different ways we can make it for different budgets, and then we kind of go from there. Because, like I said, we can slice the composition and make it the same character or idea in different ways that will have different budgets, from really, really big to really small, so. Just depends on what the person wants. Your work takes about 20 to 49 hours. All right, let's see here. Every time I make art, I try something new. And better is always just a test to improve and make something more beautiful every time I practice. One challenge for my training is transforming 2D and 1D images into 3D sculptures with no references, just using the brain. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, let's see what that just kind of. So you're trying to like train up your memory essentially of looking at a thing, memorizing it enough to really to recreate it without having to have reference. I could see that coming in handy, but I don't know. If you can get reference of something, you might as well get the reference. It's going to make the results better. There's usually never a situation where you need to make something that does exist and you can't get reference of it. In fact, if you're making something that does exist, you should use as much reference as possible. Because if a client orders something that is something that exists, like a character, you gotta make sure it actually looks like that character, Like in this case, if I tried producing this with no reference, it would be very far from what it actually should look like by the end of it. Just deliver like a medieval knight. There you go. This is what you wanted, right? Yeah, being efficient, and efficiency comes with experience, but the most efficient way to work that I've discovered is that you have to come up with a procedure, an order of operations, where you're doing steps, just like if you were following a tutorial, except you're the one coming up with the steps. So you come up with the step and you execute it throughout the project. And then you say, okay, what's next? And you come up with the next step and execute it. Getting out of the drifting mode where you're just aimlessly drifting around the project, or you'll spend a lot of time doing things that actually don't almost like you're like highly rendering an area that doesn't matter as much, or almost like just wasting time doing things that don't need to be done, or aimlessly wandering around the project. Oh, he does have a similar shape to him, doesn't he? How do you feel about deadlines? Art and deadlines is kind of contradictory, isn't it? I don't know. I don't do a lot of deadline work, to be honest. Back from Germany, that's right. How you doing, Camilla? Yeah, I don't do a lot of deadline work. I don't like that. I will every once in a while do deadline pieces, but usually I make sure the deadline is very is more than enough time, and yeah, it's not often I'll get something. I have had things that need to be done fairly quickly and all of a sudden, but it's always worth it, because usually the only people that are doing that is like a company, like a game company or some sort of company that wants to get something done. They always seem to need it last minute. They need it yesterday, kind of thing. But they're usually willing to pay to make that happen, and that's fine. So. Yeah. But yeah, I'm not like super big on deadline work. If you work in the industry, everything you do is on a tight deadline, and you can see that really killing the passion. It really forces you to really train up that aspect of yourself that's, good at time management, good at knowing how long certain things take. Because, like, for example, there are textures and details that I could do that take a very long time to render, that look interesting and nice, but there's also these other textures and rendering styles that look nice too, that take like no time at all. So like by actively choosing to use those instead of the other things, almost like avoiding doing things that are really time consuming. You just got to know that kind of stuff. So like when I take on a deadline piece, I'll just kind of stick to my things I know I can do, and I know I can do very efficiently, that look good, Because again, going back to that thing we were talking about, that, when people see the work, they're not going to see that there was a deadline or how much it costs. They're just going to see the finished result. So you got to make sure that it always looks good, the finished piece. Because that is the tool of measurement that people will use to determine if they want to get work done from you, is your previous work. It's pretty close to the shape. Everybody seems to be on holiday over there. Staying up super late. I believe you said you were overseas, right? All right. Well, let's do it again. Oh, nice. Working hard. Now you want to use super glue and you want to wrap it around. If you impale it, you're going to create what's called the, or what I call, the loose sock effect. Where as you're trying to shape the clay, it's like a loose sock that's like rotating around the frame, not really actually stuck to the frame. And it's very annoying to deal with. Like trying to do this shaping here on all the different sides would just be not fun to do. from Spain. Hola. Hey, thank you. Welcome. Hey, what's up, the shooter? Oh, hey, got raided from you. The Spanish are raiding. Hey, welcome in, everybody. Koala. Thank you very much for that. I hope you had a nice evening. You buy cosplay for me? Well, don't buy it for me. I have plenty. Buy it for yourself. What were you guys working on? Ah, I see. I see. Ah, so you are buying it for yourself. That's good. I thought you were buying me some clay. Do you are you working in the clay too there, Koala? Oh, okay. Some Chavant. I use Chavant for doing sketches. Here, I'm gonna show you. This is a current piece we're working on in the morning stream. It's a Tyrannid swarm, so that's done in Chavant. I use it as like a sketching medium, and then I do the final version in cast clay, polymer clay. I have another one here too. This one right here. We did this. We're doing this project for Logitech, a customized headphones base station. That's the sketch for that. And we finished that one. Let me show you. That's the final sculpt. It's currently being painted right now. And we're working on the Space Marine. We're doing a second one that's Space Marine themed. This one is Tyrannid themed, so. There we go. Oh. There we go. Let's get back to work. That, uh, hmm. No, that one. There's no deadline for that one. Hey, thank you. If you're used to working with Chavant, you're gonna have a little bit of a difficult time when you first start working with polymer clay. And that's because it, you know, Chavant is very rigid, very waxy. It only moves where you want it to. But polymer clay has like a back and forth to it, where it kind of sponges, or it kind of moves back a little bit after you move it. It's hard to explain. Like springs back a little bit, which can be a little bit difficult to get used to at first. There's something in here that shouldn't be in there. I know what it is. It's a super glue. You know what? We're gonna leave this just like it is, and after it's baked, then I'll cut all that flat. Looks messy right now, but after it's hardened, we can get in there easily and cut it without messing up the shape. Yeah, like it just has like a stretchiness to it, you know. Whereas you know, Chavant is just it's more rigid, you know, it goes exactly where you want. Right. It's gonna feel very soft. So, okay, this is what I would recommend to ease you into the transition, to get you used to it. I use the medium firm cast clay, but there's one firmness higher, and that's the extra firm. I would start with that variety first, because otherwise I think you'll probably find this to be difficult to do detail work initially. You do get used to that softness, and I actually really, when I'm using Chavant, because what happens is there's a lot of automatic processes that can happen if you control that stretchy aspect of the clay. Almost like, you know, like the effects of using alcohol in a paintbrush are way more drastic. It like really can change the surface quite a bit, very easily. And with Chavant, it doesn't really, you know, you have to do every bit, you know, by hand. There's no automatic process. So I know that's one thing I always miss whenever I'm doing detailing with Chavant. Yeah, sure, no problem. No problem. treat that just like that. Those shapes we can clean up more once they've been baked, and we can cut them a lot easier with the knife. Now we just gotta do this one. It's pretty much the same shape here. Hey, well, thank you. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. I know the feeling. I watch other artists do their thing, and I agree. It's nice to watch. Try to analyze and see why things are being done certain ways. No, there isn't that many. There are a few, though. There are a few. But it is a more rare thing. Yep. Mank EG or Mank EJ underscore. You can see his name up there. Who else do we know? Yeah, Gladsask from Germany. Carito Cavieri. Freaky Deek. I'm not sure how much he streams. Animare. Yep. FXH. FXH. He does, I think he does Chavant and does the molding and casting stuff. Who else is there? I don't know. There's probably more. I'm just drawing a blank. All right, we're gonna leave that there for right now. We'll finish that up tomorrow. Oh wait, no, not tomorrow. Thursday. Get these parts finished, and then we bake it, and then we sculpt the base. I think I'm gonna raise it up to about here, and then I have a nice round piece of wood we'll use, and then we're just gonna sculpt some sort of shape or something. I don't know. I have to figure out what I'm doing for the under part, the base. I'll have to look around. I'll have to look around at some reference, see if we can get some good ideas. Something that contrasts the character, which technically would be something organic, but I don't know. I don't know if that would really work. So maybe just something like a really clean, smooth shape. Some design in the logo you could use. I don't know if we'll make it like mechanical or something like that, because then it just, I don't know, looks too much like the character. But then again, the color could be different. So, how long since your first touch with the clay? How did I start? Well, I started with, I actually originally started sculpting when I was about 10 years old, but it kind of phased in and out of my younger years, and I didn't start kind of pursuing it as an adult until I was like maybe like 20, 21 years old. And now I am, but since then I've been pretty consistent, and now I'm 35, so it's been a while. About 14, 15 years, something like that. But yeah, okay. Hey, everybody, thank you so much for joining me this evening. You all have been wonderful. I'm going to get out of here, get some rest. I will be back on tomorrow, bright and early, 8 a.m. Hopefully I see you then. There's no evening stream tomorrow because we're doing a long day stream because Emma has her dance class. Or actually, it might not be as long. It might not be a long day stream because we got we're gonna meet a friend for dinner/lunch. So a normal morning stream, but no evening stream tomorrow. And then we'll be back on the evening on Thursday. So, and I think so. Thursday's the last day of this week working on this piece. So maybe we can actually get it done, and then next week we'll be doing the painting in the evenings. So, because it is really close after getting those parts all done. I'm pretty happy with it. Yeah, it's nice to meet you too. And you know what? Let me make sure I get you followed so I can go check out your stuff. I appreciate that. Okay, let's get this raid going here. We're gonna go raid Midi Mew. Let's go raid Midi Mew. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you all next time. Till then, bye-bye.